ascension cycles, the karmic body, otherwise known as the energy body, goes through a specific recalibration process. This is because the soul complex is attuning itself to the higher grades of vibration and light. So today I'm going to be explaining what that recalibration process entails. As our soul stream enters into the lower dimensions of this universe, the lower it goes, the denser light gets. This creates maximum light refraction. So there's a bending of light to such an extent that in order for us to move upward in an ascension trajectory, we would have to actually harness all of that bent light within our own soul complex or the karmic body. And by doing so, we would be able to harness enough velocity in order for us to activate the light body, also known as the rainbow body. And this is done through a recalibration process that is taking place within our etheric template. Now, our etheric template is everything that's manifested in the physical form, in the energy form, which is why it's called the energy body. But it can just as well be called the karmic body because everything that is contained within this etheric template is of a karmic nature, meaning that it's stored cellular memory. And so within this etheric template, we have everything that is karmic within our ancestral lineage, everything that is karmic that has been imprinted in our past lives. So karma, within this context, is referring to memory. And our etheric template can be looked at as the storage house for our soul stream's entire cellular memory. Now, if you were to zoom in on these filaments of memory inside the etheric template, you would see that these strands of memory complex are going through a process. And if you were to look close enough, you would see that they're going through a balancing process. And that's what the recalibration that is happening to our body, mind, spirit complex is going through when we're going through an ascension cycle. It's going through a recalibration process, which innately means that there is a balancing taking place. And what do we know about karma, or the karmic body? We know that karma gets cleared through a balancing. You could look at these filaments of memory as each being their own lifetime contained within our greater soul stream. And within each of these lifetimes, or these looms of fate, we had dominant themes. Some of these dominant themes carried over into other lifetimes, and some of these dominant themes had absolutely nothing to do with other lifetimes. Some of them even overlapped. But all of these different filaments are storing memories of themes that have been either processed or unresolved, and therefore unprocessed. When these themes are unprocessed, there needs to take place a balancing. And since time doesn't really exist, everything can happen in the now moment. So any themes that have yet to be processed are currently going through a recalibration, aka a balancing that is clearing its karma. During cycles of ascension, time gives the illusion of quickening. So there is an acceleration that takes place within ascension cycles that is a direct reflection of our own vibratory rate increasing. So as our own consciousness is accelerating, that is reflected in the external. And because of that, the energies in an ascension cycle are completely different than when we are not in an ascension cycle. When we are not in an ascension cycle, time operates very chronologically. It doesn't operate as non-linear as it does in an ascension cycle. And so the non-linearity of ascension cycles means that we access multiple lifetimes and can balance and process all these different karmic themes that were happening in past cycles where time was slower or when our consciousness wasn't as close to the veils. And so because of that, ascension cycles is where the most healing can take place at a multidimensional level. You could also look at this same process as in past cycles, we were incurring karma. That was our duty at that time. It was to incur it. And then during ascension cycles, it's supportive of healing and clearing it. So when consciousness vibrates faster, the illusion of time is far less fixed. Time starts operating like its true essence, which is the quantum. And the quantum is everything is happening all at once. And because everything is happening simultaneously within the realm of pure potential, there's so much faster access to healing taking place, or balancing of multiple different lifetimes, multiple different sets of realities, different versions of ourselves, multiple different soul streams, even within the higher self and within the oversoul, because the true essence of everything is that time is an illusion. And so we access all of this in ascension cycles. And that's why the strongest part of recalibration takes place when we're ascending, because when we have access to all of these supportive energies, due to consciousness resonating more at spirit than at matter on the spirit-matter continuum. So we're able to access all of our past memory, the karmic body, and balance, process, and clear it in the now moment with all of our own healing journey and our own consciousness. So every time we are healing a theme in this life, that is going back to every part of our soul stream that contained that dominant theme within it, and it's resolving that theme and fully processing those lifetimes out. So naturally, one would ask, how do we balance these themes so as to create resolve that will lead to a clearing of that karma, meaning that memory, within our karmic body? And by doing so, transmute our karmic body into our light body. Well, the good news is that as time quickens, so does our own karma, meaning that we're not going to have to wait lifetimes in order to get the reflection of a past deed that was done. We're not going to have to wait even the whole span of one lifetime. Within this lifetime, karma is almost an instant boomerang, meaning that we're going to have an easier way of identifying and acknowledging the reflection of our own actions and the reflection of our own deeds, so that we can, based off of that reflection that we're seeing of our own action, be able to modify our own self-awareness according to what we dislike or to whatever detrimental pattern we're seeing a reflection of, so that we can self-correct almost instantly. And that's the recalibration process that's happening during this time, which is why the energies in this lifetime are so intense. It's because we're going through almost, one could say, an instant karma life review. We're having things appear in our world sphere that are making us self-aware. And then through that self-awareness, we take more healthy actions. We take actions that reflect now whatever awareness was mirrored to us by that reflection of our past deed or past action. This may not always feel good, but we don't need to fear it if we also understand that included within these reflections that we're being given in order to self-correct and to become more aware, that also karma involves experiences that we had wanted certain outcomes to attain, and they were left unresolved. And so you could look at that as an incomplete karma. So within this also, a part of the ascension cycle, a part of this recalibration process, a part of the instant karma that we're experiencing now, we're also being given super benevolent and supportive energies that allow us into our power in whatever way that we felt powerless in the past, or we felt like we had an unfulfilled outcome where we wanted there to be what we considered a highest outcome. So a part of karma is also really being able to experience things that will fulfill us and bring us into our power in whatever personal way that means to an individual that we hadn't experienced in the past before. And so within this spirit of this age and within this ascension cycle, on top of getting instant reflections, tit for tat almost, a quickening of the memory from what was held in the past that is coming forward through reflections, it's also reflecting back to us where we need to be in our power in order to get into a higher vibrational state of fulfillment and bliss. So because of that, this age is also super supportive of us being able to access within us whatever will give us fulfillment. So this whole recalibration is taking place to our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our energy body, as well as our etheric template. It's a deep healing process that not only almost in real time reflects to us our past deeds and actions in order so that we can self-correct and therefore evolve our consciousness through that awareness, but also it's calling us towards our ability to reach fulfillment in wherever in our lives and our soul streams that we feel that we didn't reach fulfillment in. The energy of fulfillment is such a strong and vital theme to this whole recalibration process. It's so important to be able to tap into what fulfillment would mean at a personal and individual level so that a person can become more aware of how to access or how to gain fulfillment. And by doing so, that is one of the strongest elements to being able to heal in an ascension cycle. Because essentially what's happening is that to be able to activate the light body or the rainbow body, that's done through the disidentification with self. The overwhelming majority of the time is coming from a strong and dense energy of denial. It's not coming from a truly integrated, harmonious state that expands and elevates and therefore ascends. So activating the light body cannot be done with an aversion to the body itself or the aversion to the material realm in itself. Rather, it's the organic harmony that arises from the state of peace. And true peace is reached through fulfillment. So fulfillment is the velocity. You could look at it. It's what generates the ability to increase our vibration by feeling so fulfilled that we are in harmony and having so much harmony that we are in the state of peace. Ascension is the conscious participation in our own evolution. And this conscious participation, from a higher vantage point, is done through the reunification of our refracted light. So the light of our consciousness, or the light from our soul stream, enters into a recalibration process where each layer of our energy field is adjusting, attuning, and balancing itself in order to ultimately evolve. It is a slow mutation process, but it is done through this recalibration. The closest science to this recalibration process that we have seen is epigenetics. The mental body is calibrated through higher awareness. The physical body is calibrated through resolving the trauma loop cycle that it is stuck in. And the emotional body is calibrated through fulfillment. But fulfillment in this sense, as it pertains to ascension, is not merely a soothing sensation that we experience after an accomplishment. Fulfillment at a soul level is what allows us to shift our consciousness into other realms of experience. It is what closes out unfinished business, dissolves the memory held in our karmic body, gives us true peace, and it is the fuel that propels our entire being into the eternal now. I hope this has helped fulfill you. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for higher dimensional guidance through spiritual awakenings. See you next time.